Hey guys, Gabe Suarez here. So the last week or so, there's been a discussion about carrying weapon lights and all this kind of stuff, and I want to talk a little bit about the realities. Okay, now I'm out here, in the property, just kind of walking around and so on. My background: 15 years in law enforcement. And a bunch of confrontations. The majority of them were in low light. Okay, I worked between the hours of 5 at night, 3 in the morning. So, a good portion of my shift was dark. Okay, now here's the thing. Like right now, I'm in an area. Okay, where we have a lot of ambient light. Okay, and if a bad guy jumps out, I know he's a bad guy. I can see by his movement, his actions, and everything else that he's a bad guy and he's intent on doing me harm. I don't need to illuminate him. I don't need to identify him any further. I know what I have. So, adding additional light to that is just stupid. It doesn't do anything for you. Even in this type of environment here where the light is a little bit less, I can still see where a bad guy would be. Okay? And if I'm moving into an area that is considerably darker, let me see if I can hold this camera away from me a little bit. Okay. Yeah, now it's getting dark. Okay. Now, probably at this point, okay, there's a lot of shadows and things like that. Where in an urban environment do you see this sort of thing? You don't. Okay. So if you're going into a dark environment like this, probably preemptively, you're going to get out a flashlight. Okay. Now, what I've got here is, I'll show you a little bit later maybe. I have one of those Surefire stilettos, which I think is a pretty cool light. So you're going to get the light out so you don't fall off a freaking cliff, okay, or run into, something you don't want to run into. Okay, so the flashlight is going to be in your hand to begin with when situations are in a dark environment, okay, because you want to see what's going on around and you don't want to stumble on something. But in situations where the lighting is better, okay, and it's not as dark and everything else, you don't need a flashlight, so you're probably not going to have it with you. So if you need to have a flashlight with you, something like this, okay, makes a heck of a lot more sense than something attached to your pistol. Can you imagine you're walking out in a dark area? I got to get my pistol out in order to, not fall off a cliff or something. I know guys say, well, just carry two flashlights. Yeah, that's great, Mr. Surefire, because you want to sell me two flashlights. Look, guys, how much stuff are you going to carry around with you every day? Okay. Now, look, here's the difference. Okay. You are, working your regular job, whatever it is that you do, stockbroker, doctor, you know, martial arts instructor, whatever. Okay. How much shit are you going to carry with you every day? Okay. Probably minimal stuff. So, uh, honestly, guys, a little flashlight like this, nice and easy. You bring it out when you need it. If you don't need it, you leave it in your pocket, you leave it in the car or something like that. Honestly, in my opinion, for concealed carry, single operator, lone operator use, plain clothes, undercover, that kind of stuff, you really don't need a weapon light because you're not going to be going into into a building, um, with ill intent for an adversary. Okay, and if you are, this does just as well. Okay, and it's not attached to you. So anyway, look, that's my opinion. Now again, uh, SWAT or uniform patrol, stuff like that, different story. Okay, that's not what we were talking about in the thread on the Facebook group. Okay, so think the matter through. Like again, right now, this level of lighting, I do not need to illuminate anyone. Okay, if a bad guy comes out and tries to kill me, I'll know without having to do this kind of stuff. Okay, but anyway, that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and clean this up and post it, and we'll we'll see what the responses are. Okay, and until then, mwahaha.